Hi, welcome to Curtain Call. I'm Hedy Weiss, theater and dance critic for the Chicago Sun-Times, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Kimberly Senior, one of the busiest and most interesting directors in town. She has not stopped working, I think, for the past 2 years, and we're just going to talk a little bit about that and about her upcoming production of Hedda Gabler at Writers Theater in Glencoe. So, just maybe run down some of the major productions you've directed in the last year or two.
4,000 Miles this past fall at Northlight Theater. And prior to 4,000 Miles...
Disgrace.
Well, before Disgrace, there was Whipping Man, chronologically, which was also at Northlight, and The Letters at Writers.
Right, which was a fascinating two-character piece, right?
Yes, two characters, Kate Fry and Mark Montgomery, who are both in Hedda Gabler as well.
Right.
And then prior to that, Disgraced, which I directed both at Lincoln Center in New York and at American Theater Company here in Chicago, where it premiered.
Let's go back and talk about Henrik Ibsen's Hedda Gabler. So, did you choose this play, or was this chosen and then you were asked to direct it?
I did choose this play.
And why?
I've hated this play my whole life.
That's a good place to start. Yeah.
And I feel like I've been wrestling with it since I read it in
college.
Let's
recap it just for people who haven't read it since high school.
Right, which is pretty much, you read it then and then you're like, I don't need to read that play again.
Right.
So Hedda Gabler is, at the start of the play, her and her husband, Jorgen Tesman, have returned home from their 6-month honeymoon in Italy. And they get back, and Jorgen is an academic who is getting ready for his first professorship appointment, which he is expecting to come to him. And they have been appointed in this amazing home, which is being paid for by a local judge and a little bit funded by Jorgen's aunt. And they are a couple on the brink of starting what should be an amazing, wonderful life.
Sort of like the Hope Bourgeois.
And
she, as I interpret it, is a woman who, probably should be the academic or should be doing something, and she has nothing to do but just think about class and sustaining her position.
And then that's a lot of it, and part of it is that she's an interesting character because she was raised by her father, who was a general. There's no mention of a mother ever, and so you're sort of led to believe that she was the only child of a sole male parent who was in the military. And so she's great with a gun and less great with sort of human interaction and qualities that are associated with women. There are a lot of questions about gender and identity of gender. It's interesting people call it feminist, where Ibsen was like, my play's a play about humans.
Tell me a little bit about how you became a director.
I've been performing since I was 3, and I was a dancer, and did all these things, and I was always most at home in the theater. So I went to a liberal arts college where I did major in theater. So that was great. And then I accidentally sort of tried out directing in college, and my professors gently suggested that maybe that was something I was better at.
And what brought you to Chicago?
I had an internship at Steppenwolf.
Good place to start.
Yeah, it was now coming up on my 20th anniversary of that.
So are you planning to stay here, or are there now lures to go to New York?
I'm here.
You're here?
I'm here. I feel very lucky to be in this town that keeps also the new talent that isn't, the young people who are infusing Chicago theater now. I want to work with all of them too. I'm so excited about all the theater I'm going to see in those basements and meeting those actors and young directors, and I'm constantly inspired by our environment, so I don't want to go anywhere.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming in, and thank you for watching Curtain Call.